Um, an update as ever. It's Thursday today, but I've been toying on a few ideas for brew days. I've got a recipe for a steam beer, which I'm hoping to make. I was going to make that this weekend, but then I had some sour beer inside the week, and that's kind of impregnated an idea in my head, and it's fermented and formulated away in my brain, and I'm like, I'm going to make a Berliner Weiss. What I need for a Berliner Weiss is something to sour the beer with, Pilsner malt, wheat malt, got both of those upstairs in bags, and I say lactose maybe for souring I'm going to use, and a German yeast. Okay, so I haven't actually got any dry German yeast, and I haven't actually got any lactose, but I've got a sauce. Let me show you. So instead of lactose, I've got some sour beer or sour bread yeast there, or sour bread dough. That's full of lactose. That is nice and sour. And also, I've got some Kolsch yeast from a few months ago. I've just weighed out some malt here, so I'm going to make a starter, a litre starter. So that's 100 grams of, well, it's almost 100, isn't it? 100 grams of spray malt. I'll make a litre, and I'll split the batch. I'll do 500 millilitres in here and 500 millilitres there. Well, I'm going to take this out and stick it into another container and let that grow for a few days. Tomorrow night, it's come back to me. Tomorrow evening, I will mash the two grains and most likely inoculate them with the lactose. Not lactose, lactobacillus. I'll leave that souring then for the rest of the week overnight. Maybe by the day later it should be down to what it should be, which is around 3.4, 3.7 ish. I just measure the pH to see when it's about that. So I'll leave it in the Baumeister at about 37 centigrade. I think it's about right. Maybe I'll have to check up what temperature to use that at. Once it gets down to the correct business levels, I will boil it up with some German hops. Got plenty of those in the fridge. So it gives me a certain amount of bitterness, and then I will pitch my Kolsch yeast and just let it do its own thing for a few days, for a few weeks maybe, and see what it comes out like. Never done a sour before, so it might be absolutely terrible, but I'm still going to do it. I'm just going to do a 10 litre batch, and not to, if it doesn't come out good, I can try another one. So that's the plan. I'm going to tag on a trip from the weekend. I went away to Warminster Maltings. I'll show you a bit there, maybe a bit of Coventry, and then after that we went to another brewery. The brewery that we were going to go to couldn't actually accommodate us at the last moment, so we went to another brewery, which is a Wessex one, which made some really good beers. Brew kit wasn't really that modern, and I wouldn't say it's the cleanest of breweries what I've seen. They seem to have 4 out of 5 stars from the local council for their health and safety, but oh well, I'll let you see that. Right, bye. Good morning. It's the 1st of September. Got some hops. These are my East Kent Goldings. They're coming out really nicely. Got some nice apples here. Most have been eaten by these little moths which drill their way into the apple. We've got some nice big ones like this one here. Like these, quite tasty. So they'll be coming up not soon. I think I'm not going to have a mega big harvest of them, but it's going to be quite big. but hopefully I should be able to get enough hops off this for the aroma hops. Anyway, the reason I'm here today, going to go for got a bit of an outing with my home brewers group. Going to go to Warminster Maltings, so obviously we're going to get the malt to accompany the hops, and then after that, going to pop to a brewery as well, which is down by Warminster. I'll tell you what the name is when we get there. Anyway, come with me with my journey. Let's have a little story. Anyway, if you're new to brewing, let's tell you how beer is made, shall we? Most important thing, hops. Hops are grown from a rhizome. They are female plants, never males. The males are discarded. Hops, normally you can tell when a hop is ready is when it starts to, I don't think I've got any which are ready here yet, but they start going a bit brown. See this one here, look? So let's have a look, see if we can focus on this. We're having trouble. But then we start to go a bit brown on the edges and go a bit crispier. Got a papery texture to them. These are not doing that yet, not quite ready yet. A few more weeks maybe. Nice big long ones there though. Hops. These are a multi-purpose hop. These are East Friggles, so they can be used for bittering and also for the aroma at the end. And they are predominant. They are an English hop. A lot of hops are all derived from a kind of very similar plants, and they've all got like all related in some way or form, and they're generally broken down into European hops, British hops, well, if you call British part of Europe anymore, and also we've got quite a lot of American hops, but most good percentage of American hops are actually derived from German hops and English hops. So, and some of the English hops are derived from the same thing. So this is the start of our journey. So these are hops we get either picked and used in a brew straight away, or they would get dried and packed away and then used later on, or packed and stored and then used later on in the beer. So let's skip across to the next thing, which is obviously we perhaps might even go past a few fields of barley as we go there, and then we'll go to a malting and see what they do there. So here I am, Warminster Maltings. This is basically where they take the barley, they spout it, they water it, make sure it starts germinating, it sprouts, and then they wait till it's sprouted so much, and then they dry it and obviously stop it from growing. I don't know whether I'll be able to take the camera into the maltings themselves, but we'll see. This is the packing area.
I'm glad you didn't get one of them to split up.
Yeah. So this is where they store the grains before they bag them up and send them out. Fine.
They're in my hall.
Okay, so what you're looking at the moment are the drying floors. This grain has been already soaked, and there's about 5 tons of grain on each level. And you get a ripple effect from them being actually dragged through. There's actually a plough they drag through the through the grains.
People here because this really
Little
is
device
the
for turning all the
epicenter.
malts over.
This enables
So when they receive the grains, they put them in these great containers here. So this is full of water. They might actually pump that in, or it's actually coming from a well they've got just next door as well.
Yeah, it looks like a. I think that's why it's been roasted or not. You can smell it as well, can't you?
blow the air up through, and you can therefore try your bigger batches in less time. Yes. If we
Okay, so once the grains are actually dried, they're actually moved along and actually go down that hole there, and then they pump it up to be dried with the kiln.
Right, did you fall over?
No.
This is the pulley system here.
Did you get a text message from Virgin?
What about?
I just want to say. Trying to get it on the big. Yeah.
Once the grains have been dried, they actually tumble it around the machine, and this breaks all the roots off. So there's the maltings, and some beer, which is made from the maltings. Actually, it's quite nice. We're having some snacks and things. So yeah, this brewery used to be around well before. I think it used to be McGuinness, and Guinness were actually going to close it down. Then the owner here, or manager, director, who showed us around today, he actually decided that he didn't want to go to Guinness, and he actually took over the maltings here, which he's done, and he's succeeded. He's succeeding at the moment. Hopefully he'll carry on doing it. But after we've obviously seen the hops, and then we've seen how the malt's made, I think obviously I talked a bit over the some of my footage, and then we'll just pop over to a brewery now where we're actually taking the hops and the grain and making beer out of it, and then we'll see how the final product's made. So this is a bit of a timeline of the history of the maltings, but you can see quite obviously you can't see exactly what's going on, but this is the time that's been going on for. So this is just a bit of a close-up of the grains when they're sprouting. So that's one Mr. Maltings. Let's pop across to Wessex Brewery.
Basic brewery, big grim. That's a hot liquor tank there. I think that's a mash tun. I think that's another mash tun as well. And I know, might be a bull pot. So that might be hot liquor tank, mash tun. That's the bull pot. Yeah. This is there's the chiller, and then there's two fermenters in here. This is only a I think it's a 3-barrel system. This is, so it's maybe going up to about 6 barrels. So I think they do about 3 or 4 barrels in there, and then it goes up to about 6 barrels in there. So it's not a modern brewery. This is Wessex Brewery. But all the grains are up there, and there's loads and loads of hops, and yeah, but that's how the beer is made. So that was it. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I'm sorry it got a bit cut off at the end there. The story is that we were going to go to a slightly different brewery, but in the end we had to actually go for another one which we didn't plan to go to. I wasn't impressed with the kit. It looked a bit scruffy. There were lots of fruit flies and things flying around. It was quite awful, really. But they had like a little chill room where they had some lots of kegs all popped open with spires on, and some really nice beer. Just goes to show you can't judge a book by its cover as such. So there was some really good beer there. They had a few just normal British beers, there was porters, some summer ales and things like that. So it's quite interesting talking to the proprietor. He was talking about his beers and stuff like that. Very old, very kind of traditional British beers he was making there. So nothing really specialised, nothing like the American pale ales and all the craft ales and stuff like that. I think he hasn't even really started doing dry hopping or anything like that either. But from talking to him, he's planning on doing that. And that was it. And there we are. Okay, so hopefully make some sour beer this weekend. Just getting the recipe together. I'll show you that to you on the day, and also the two starters are downstairs, and I think the sour, the lactobacillus is starting to bubble up and start getting going, and also I think the yeast is doing the same. So they should all be going really well in the morning, and hopefully all ready for well, tomorrow night. Hopefully I'm going to do the mash, and then I'll do the souring, and hopefully I'll leave it souring overnight. It'll be right up to the highest temperature, so we should have really fast fermentation going on by the lactobacillus, and then I'll check the pH around midday. Hopefully by then it should be getting very close to what I want. Ramp it up to boil, bought off with some Hallertau Mittelfrau, which I've got. I've got get out a few pellets of it, so that's going to bitter it up. I'll most likely put that in about maybe 30 minutes into the boil. I've got some, as I said, I've got some pills of wheat and some, what else? Maybe a bit of mouse otter. Anyway, I'll better go. It's been a bit of a long video here, but I'll see you soon.